Yeah. Got you.
And you can hear him fine?
Yep.
Okay, when you're ready, I'm ready. The interview came to be very organically. Obviously I had covered Kobe for numerous years. One thing that I had pitched very early on before the season even started was to do something on how he's been transitioning from his post-NBA career to everything else because he was doing a lot.
Being in the industry that I'm in now, it wasn't something that was thought of, or like winning an Oscar wasn't something that was like, oh, I want to win an Oscar one day, you know? And so to be able to transition and be able to do these sorts of things it's at the top of the list.
Of course, I was excited. Any chance to interview Kobe is always a really exciting opportunity. I grew up in Los Angeles. Any chance I had to see a Lakers game or interview Kobe was always such a great experience. So it was something I was definitely looking forward to.
I remember getting a message from Sandy, and she said, "Yo, we get to photograph Kobe in a week." And so I look at her and I'm like, "Really? We get to photograph Kobe Bryant?" She was like, "Yes, get ready."
It was a 45-minute sit-down interview about things that don't have much to do with the NBA. It was about what his next steps were. And it was a whole different lens and chapter of his life that was just really cool to get into.
The biggest challenge now is finding creatives that want to come in and add to the world that we're building, and then bringing them in and making more stories. So it's finding the people that want to do that.
It was really great to see that he was really cherishing this time with his family. He pointed out that he was excited to take the girls to school and pick them up. He was excited to see Gigi's games and coach and be a part of that. He just was really enjoying being a dad.
Listen, it's been great, man. I got a chance to, spend so much time with my family and, really largely control my own schedule. So I get the chance to see them a lot, and, be with Nani and Gigi and BB and Coco and, my wife. You just have more time with family.
In the moment when I was photographing Kobe, I was thinking, don't mess anything up, make sure everything's on point, make sure you can get all the diversity of images that you're set here to get. I knew the magnitude of who I was photographing and what this meant for the readers that were gonna see this. So I was locked in. And I remember though, right when he left, I looked at Sandy and I was like, man, I can't believe what just happened. I can't believe we just did this. I mean, it never crossed my mind that the photo I took of Kobe Bryant would be one of the last photos ever taken of him.
Kobe, I appreciate the time. It was a pleasure to
You got it.
dig through everything here.
Oh, man.
I'm Robert Hanna-Sherrill, USA Today senior staff photographer based in Los Angeles. I'm probably one of only maybe a handful of photographers that actually covered Kobe from his very first game to his last game. It happened on the same day as the Grammy Awards, and literally a buzz went through the crowd. The place was pretty much full. And I think for about 10 minutes, among the photographers, we didn't believe it. And this, it's especially somebody that young. Having covered Kobe that long, for 20 years, a sadness came over, everybody, not just me and the other photographers. And then when word got out that he was with his daughter, I mean, that was just, compounding, the emotion that you had, that not only was Kobe gone, but also one of his children.
The reporter that I was with was like, "What happened?" And I told her, and then all of a sudden you just hear all these dings going off down the red carpet. So I contact Harrison, who was not covering the Grammys that day, and he was making a beeline to LA Live.
It took a lot of strength for me to complete that day and get all of the photos that I needed to get. I remember starting to shoot as fans came in to start mourning for Kobe, and about 30 minutes into photographing these makeshift memorials, on a big Jumbotron screen, there was a huge picture of Kobe and Gigi that was displayed. Everyone saw it and just, everyone just felt Kobe and felt Gigi in this space and felt the magnitude of why we were all here.
I'll forever be haunted with knowing where I was when I heard the news, and then trying to, get through that day of doing my job, where I went to the crash site in Calabasas to talk to mourning Kobe fans, and then going to the sheriff's press conference to get information on that, and then going back to the crash site to talk to more Kobe fans, and then making a long drive back home, and then trying to have the energy and the right tone to craft a column. I mean, it was a very long day, to say the least.
You just cry inside about it every time you think about it. I mean, just thinking about it now, I get very emotional about it, because, it's just such a tragedy. I mean, he had a lot of life to give, and he was doing a lot of great things post NBA career. It's sad when anybody passes away, but with somebody that's almost like a 20-year-old, a 20-year-old friend, it hurts even more. I've done a lot of things in Staples Center, and the memorial for Kobe and Gianna are certainly very different than all of that. I'm getting emotional thinking about it now, but when Vanessa left the stage and had to walk down a set of stairs, basically in the dark, you just saw this figure come out of nowhere. You really even couldn't see who it was. I mean, I'm looking through this thing through like an 800 millimeter lens, and you see this hand reach out, to touch her arm to help guide her down the stairs. And all of a sudden you realize it's Michael Jordan. Of all the things that happened during that event, to me, something as simple as Michael Jordan helping Vanessa, guiding Vanessa down a darkened staircase, I still think about it and see that in my mind right now, almost a year later. Any photographer, any journalist that has covered somebody as long as Kobe played in Los Angeles, it just strikes you as, one part of the city passed away with him because he was so beloved. And then number two, I think everybody lost something.
Sometimes you can't control that wall that us as journalists put up of emotion between ourselves and our subjects.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay that we're sad. We're humans. It doesn't stop me from doing my job. But I was able to get through it, but it was hard.
And when you see somebody, a player, or anybody, whether it's a player or politician or a celebrity or, the guy that pours your coffee every morning for 10 years, you can't help but become somewhat, involved with them in terms of, saying hi and following what they do, and, behind your journalism wall, you become invested in athletes, and it's just the way it is.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, check out these other videos from USA Today to stay up to date with all the latest news.